Hello, everybody. Welcome back here. It's been a long time, right? We haven't seen you. A lot of going on. We've been, just because we're not in the YouTube, that doesn't mean that we're not working on stuff. And we decided today to come in and give you kind of like very kind of like a good informations, something about that it's needed for the people out there. We've been doing a lot. We're gonna be traveling. Maybe we'll see. We're gonna be doing something special, sharing. We're gonna leave it this for a surprise to you guys. And what are we gonna talk about it? We've been looking into everything. It's about the dimension misalignment. Spoke to kind of like a few people, and as we evolving as a twin flame or as a soul connections, we're seeing that these dimensions misalignment. Today we're gonna give you a little bit kind of like tips in a way with it. It is about this misalignment between what you feel, how is the energy goes on, and what actually reality is. And when there is a misalignment in there, you are gonna be feeling like, what is the reality? What is the reality? Where is we have to be, and so on. So, without further ado, I'm gonna give you Paulina. Okay, guys. So, here he is.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I hope that it's gonna be clarifying for many because I've been talking to a few people and it seems like some people have troubles understanding what really means when you're getting information and in those higher dimensions when you get all those telepathies and something that doesn't really resonate with what's happening in 3D. And there is a little bit of a lesson that has to be learned not to take everything seriously all the time when it comes in this higher realms and being translated into our 3D understanding. Because I've seen sometimes it may cause a little bit of stagnation in the journey that our mind tries to make a stories and it tries to match or maybe translate into some wishful scenario. What kind of information are we getting from our telepathic messages? So one thing is we try to translate it and put our meaning according to our understanding of the journey. So that's always based on our belief system. But also we like to guess which scenario resonates with, like which even person sometimes it resonates with, because it's once you enter this understanding or maybe allow yourself to see the twin flame journey a little bit broader and try to expand outside of current belief system that it's being repeated in the community, you allow much more complex scenario to take into account, and you're gonna be observing your journey rather than setting in conditions and just maybe translating or explaining according to your current understanding and belief system. So it's very useful always. I'm always saying that to question what you're experiencing and don't take everything that happens to you, even if it feels super logical, even if it feels super real, as a given. And especially until it starts manifesting in a 3D reality.
That particularly situations, because see your personal desires, your personal point of views, your deeply thinks of, particularly with needs. All of a sudden, it's rising up with the depth from the bottom within you, within your shadow, within your subconscious. And when those kind of like a mixed up between what you want, how you want, what you need, and so on, creates a little bit of reality within yourself, and that reality beginning to act in the form of a 5D energies. You have this internal communications, you have these feelings, you have this strong energies, like you're communicating with them, And now when you are doing it within this, you're beginning to creating the belief system that whatever was in the connections in there and that kind of like a moment and so on, you have the strong belief that that's going to manifest in 3D. So you wait for a little bit. You trying to get see what is going to happen. You're trying to make a connection. You try to see the results within the 3D, and they never happen. Actually, quite a bit often we'll see instead of what you had in that positive 5D projections, because it's projection, okay, all of a sudden those are manifesting into the 3D. You connecting to the person. You thought like, hey, we kind of like talk within this and so on, and the person is like, what the heck are you talking about, right? And here is how you actually bringing, instead of being the energies that allowing to be by itself, to be kind of like a unfolding in front of you, okay? And don't put this needs and wants and how you want it in there to be kind of like within a 5D. You're dragging the desires and everything into a 5D, and all of a sudden those energies, they are not manifesting in the 3D. While when you're allowing the things to naturally unfold, the 5D is open, the 5D is getting there, the 5D it's leading the things. You are not overreacting, overthinking. You just let the things happen, and all of a sudden the things happen naturally on their own. You're gonna get confirmations in the 3D, as the person in there is gonna be like, we need to talk about what you actually have this unfold energies in a 5D, and that's gonna happen by its natural path of events instead of controlling within this, because you're creating a dimension misalignment. And when you're creating this misalignment, you see it. Your ego is still trying to manifest itself in the spiritual realm. Okay, so be more kind of like cautious of how do you feel, what do you feel, is that real, is that not. If something happened in the 5D and it's so strong, it's like, okay, let it be. If something's gonna happen and manifest, I'm gonna be waiting, but I am not gonna be believe that whatever happened in the 5D is really going to happen in 3D, because the misalignment, it's the line, it's very thin, okay, because you operating from the old self, you operating of the old paradigms into the new energies, compared to allowing the new paradigm to be born within you, and that energy of the new paradigm to bring that down into the 3D. Let the energies work themselves out.
No, those are good points. And especially, we can see that sometimes we like to expect certain people to take certain roles. Like we'll put scenario together and we'll be seeing how things are logically coming into place. I'm gonna be taking this role, the other person will be taking that role. You kind of try to build this ideal case in which you will be exactly knowing what you know, what you can do the best you can, what your partner will be doing. But very often with all of this, we are missing that we are expecting people to take certain role, so we don't have to learn it ourselves. So I don't know what example can be. Someone has issues with cooking, for example. They don't know how to cook, but they build this beautiful case scenario because their twin flame or the catalyst, they are amazing cooks. So they build in their head this beautiful scenario that they will be together and they will magically work together so the other one doesn't have to cook. So you can see, if you start seeing it this way and maybe wondering, why do you really build this scenario? Why do you really imagine coming together? There are cases that we are trying to find a savior, or we are trying to find someone who will make our life easier. Because right now we don't have something, or we don't know how to do it, oh, but we met this person, he's like my other half because he knows or she knows exactly how it's being done. So I can see it manifesting, like we're gonna be coming together and we're gonna be building this beautiful, like a wholeness from two halves that are everyone missing something, so we are gonna be complementing each other. But this is very tricky because you see, that can be coming from our ego or our mind trying to put the logic into this connection. So we're gonna be analyzing all those connections as they come to us and wonder, oh, why that person would not just, they seem to be so perfect, they are complementing me so well, my life would be so wonderful if we were together. And we kind of build on this fantasy, and it's very dangerous because we are locking somehow this real scenario that you have to embrace, that you have to recognize that there are certain weaknesses, for example, that you have to start developing. But the first step will be to tell yourself that we are not here really to complement each other in a way that I'm afraid to learn something, it's not comfortable for me, I don't know how to do it just because the way I am. There is another person and he's or she's perfect with that, and we're gonna be together because that's gonna be way easier to work together. So just a reminder for everyone to know that we are here to reach the wholeness on our own, not really to try to find someone to fill our gaps and weaknesses. Because if you enter a relationship from this standpoint, there is a very high chance you're gonna get codependent and you're gonna be actually creating more chaos in this dynamic, because you may start acting from the place of fear. If things go wrong, for example, you're not gonna be thinking clearly from this space of strength that you know your value, you can be on your own. There might be some desperation coming into place, and soul connections is nothing that will be is not gonna be working healthily this way. We are here to enter in relationships from the place of independence, so we can become interdependent, sorry. Codependence is the first very quick road to just repeat those toxic environments that we are supposed to take ourselves out of. So hopefully this point clarifies a little bit.
Codependency, right? I want to start here to kind of like you guys, this, it's not that much complicated, but when you operated from codependency, particularly from the oldest point of paradigm, we are talking about from you operating for level of survivor, wants, needs, things that you have not experienced in your life, but that you want them so much, so all of a sudden they're rising from within you, and you kind of like setting up a requirements from the counterpart in there to be. So you're trying to bring this thing into the soul connection, but the soul connection is working completely backwards. Okay, you're not building the life from the wants, needs, and so on. You building the life on the base of the soul, because see, the way you learned life right now, everything goes backwards. Okay, you put the soul down in there, and you did not operate it the way you're supposed to. Now, since you are in the soul connections, let me just remind you, a lot of the people think that soul to soul connection, it has to be perfect and so on and so on. The soul connections has its one purpose, to align you from a soul-based perspective to fix everything all the way down into the 3D, into the material world. Okay, the hardest thing you are going to be understanding, you already know it from within yourself, but that is it, to bring the heaven on earth, right? If that was just easy, it's going to be not the right situations, right? Because it's not that easy. You need to get yourself aligned with all the dimensions from within yourself, and let the soul is leading from 5D, 4D, okay, that going through the duality, aligning what it needs to be aligned according to the soul, and then that energy is to step down into the 3D. But when you're trying to build from the 3D perspective, you're going through the 4D, okay, the magical world, you're trying all the gimmicks and all the what was it? Manipulation for manifestations. Yes, that's what it was. And we are talking about that, what you're trying to do. And you're trying that energy to get it in there. And you're creating this dimension imbalance. You're creating this misalignment. Okay? And then you're wondering why the things doesn't go well with your soul connection. Soul connections are based out of a soul, where the soul is taking the leads, the two souls are coming together, they see the positive, the negative, they see the things that needs to be worked out, they see the problems and the issues and all kind of like areas of life. I mean, those areas of life, this could be culture, this could be age, this could be generational, this could be either, through the family, through the bloodlines, whatever the things is. So when the soul comes in, sees the problems, finds the solutions, working it out the problems, and then go down, 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 and down. But you keep the connections and the base of the soul, not in the base of your needs, wants, desires, or even the worst thing, survival. Because you're codepending on the person instead of building the things that needs to be done from the soul perspective. You are twisting the dimensions from within, and it creates a false belief system within yourself, and that false belief system, it does not create results. And when it doesn't create any results, and guess what happens? You're beginning to wondering, what the heck was this all about in a 5D? What was this energies that is what's there, right? So allowed the dimensional alignment to be lead, to be organized from the soul. You just wait. You gotta learn patience. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn the things with the partner, and then the things beginning to magically, they're beginning to alignment.
Yeah, actually 3D, this is the last dimension, or maybe the dimension that we should have the least control over. We should allow, based on our results of our inner work, or work that we do on our emotional body, your mental body, all of those bodies that are beyond 3D, it's like a physical world. We can actually observe what will start happening in 3D. And the problem is, some people may not like it, the way it will be manifesting. Because, again, I'm mentioning about this ideal case scenario that we build in our heads. And the way our surrender life will be unfolding, it's gonna be a little bit different. So it's gonna be like a test for you. Are you fully surrendered into your journey? And it's always good to have this check, like, who do you think is in control in this journey? And if you think that you are, and you will keep believing that and going according to these priorities, you're not gonna go far. You're at some point you're gonna hit the wall. And the only way, or maybe based on my experience, maybe Dio's experience, you can confirm too, the moment you really let go and assume that we are not here to take control over those connections, we are not here to steer it, we are not here to lead to any certain scenario. The moment you surrender and you start observing how your life will be unfolding once you release from this resistance, and maybe there are some changes that will be happening in your life as a result of that. But until you are in this journey to claim that he or she is mine, or my counterpart, my twin flame, anything, like, you're not gonna go much further, because we are not owning anyone here. And that's a very big lesson. No one can control anyone's wish. And also, we should, not only that, we should always respect other people's wishes, give ourselves the freedom. And if from that standpoint, someone comes to us, that we may think that that person wants to do something with us. But otherwise, it's us who's creating the scenario in our head, but eventually it cannot manifest because it was not supposed to. So one kind of positive way from the situation is just work on yourself. Just focus on what you can do for yourself. Don't put yourself into this passive mode that you're gonna have certain thing once the person comes back. I can start working on this issue only with that person once they're coming back, because you're holding yourself in the cage and you put the whole control towards that other person, that the other person will be deciding how quickly you're gonna be moving on your journey. So that's something to think about. Like, where are you putting your control? You know, if anything, control your actions and control what you do for your own self. So
It's a lot of points. I mean, we can sit down here and talking to you, but as Paulina was saying up here, right? The old way, he or she belonged to me, so it's mine. You're treating it like an object. And to that point of object, you think like you're owning. But the other thing it is that when you're owning, you also kind of like putting yourself in this box, right? And not doing the work. You waiting for what the most cases is like, I'm waiting for my twin flame, he to wake up. I'm waiting for my twin flame. The worst thing I'm hearing in the community is like, when it's going to be his dark night of the soul, so he's going to wake up, realize what we are, and so on and so on. When are you going to realize you're going to be needing to wake up towards your own self? Because see, sometimes the connections and soul is only a one way from one person to the other person doesn't even have a clue what soul connection is. Okay, sometimes it's, you know, within the two people, and when the two people are awakened, the things is much more different because you operating of the stage of awareness of awakening and what the consequences of the actions or inactions can be. But as we are saying it here, you have to learn within yourself about yourself first. Start aligning yourself. Oh, I see this is I'm negative on this one. Oh, I'm negative on that one. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. The one thing I want to give you some really kind of like good clues. See what you don't like. See what you don't want. And there is going to be telling you where the progress is going to be. See what you don't understand. See what you're rejecting. Okay? Study those. Okay? This is going to be very much helpful, first of all, in a personal level. And when we have a 5D that it's real, okay, the 5D that it's real is going to be manifesting in 3D. And you're going to find the difference between putting that projections into the 5D and then the actual 5D when it comes in and manifesting into the 3D. Because it's going to be, it is what it is. Because whatever it's upstairs, it's the same things downstairs. It's the Hermetic principles, okay? And that's why when you let the soul to open, let the soul to lead, the soul is connecting to the spirit is connecting to the universe. And now to that energy to the universe knows everything. And that can be as the way it's supposed to be. You build it from the higher realms to the lower realms. That's the reason why you get waking up in there. And then you're going to be finding where you're misaligned within the dimensions within yourself in there, at your level of existence in there. And you may want to find some things like my spiritual body wants something else, my emotional body wants something else, my physical body wants something else, but the soul and the spirit, they're going to begin to align all this. Okay? And that is going to be your one of the best things that you're going to do, first of all, for yourself. The second thing, it is about when you fix this misalignment in your soul connection, that's going to help you even in a counterpart. Okay? But you have to give yourself a freedom, but you're also going to have to give the freedom to the counterparts in there. And that is the part of the interdependence. Okay, you're not really codependent on each other from this survival and this so on and so on. You are interdependent in there for building something great. That it's based out of the soul. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. If you, darling, you have anything.
Just one last reminder for people to maybe not allow those. higher dimensional messages that are coming, because they feel very real. And I like to think about it that maybe they are real, but not in this reality, not in this timeline. You can translate that any way you want, but find a way which will not be stopping you from doing things in 3D. If there are things that you have to address, you can ignore whatever you hear about higher dimensions or you hear coming from your twin flame or anything until it actually starts manifesting in 3D, because it teaches this humility a little bit, that we are here to wait how our life will be unfolding, like experience our life, not to have full control over. It's just put ourselves from this space of observer. So if anything, it's just once we hear some messages about the other dimensions, we can see how it translates into our 3D reality without the judgment. It may be 180 degrees opposite. Maybe they say that someone will live, but someone else dying. You're getting some new car, but your car is breaking. There might be some misalignment like that. But in general, whatever comes to you, just don't judge it until actually you will begin to see the parallels. Because eventually what should be happening is even the messages that you're picking up or some energetic symbolism, anything, you will start seeing maybe even in a workplace. The symbols will be repeating itself. Names can be repeating itself. You're gonna be picking up and your project will be the same name. For example, this very little clues that will be showing you that there is some level of parallel between higher dimensions and the messages you're getting and the lower dimensions. But they are not coming to you to steer your 3D based on what you hear there. It's more as to acknowledge, but just observe. And it's more like an indicator that you're on the right track, because whatever is upstairs is coming eventually downstairs. So now it's just a lot. What last thing wanted to mention?
Good point. And don't mix it up upstairs with downstairs. And that's what this is. Some of the people will bring this, again, I don't like myself to repeat, but giving you one example in there. You may see a vision. You're going to be with them. You're going to be walking in a certain place and so on and so on, right? And all of a sudden you're walking to that place and you feel like they're with you and so on and so on. At that point, you kind of like putting these projections out there. But then the reality doesn't happen. Why? Because you are impatient. You haven't let the energies to unfold. But if you allow these energies to be unfold naturally, okay, because the energies that exist, it came to you for some reason, right? So allow that energy, allow this clues that comes in. And when that is manifesting in there, you're going to be understanding why it did manifest, how did it manifest, how did this align, okay? But if it doesn't happen, you're going to be learning how you actually created this disalignment, this dimensional misalignment within you. And then you're going to figure things out that you have to do it the proper way, the right way, through the soul, and let the things manifesting naturally. Okay, guys, that's all we made in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Much appreciated. If you have any questions or any video requests, you guys can put it in the comments below, and we'll be gladly helping you out.
Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Much love. Be love, guys. See you soon.